following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
And coming to you live on tape on this Tuesday, August 6th, in the year 2024, where everything, and I mean everything, is falling apart, blowing up, is lit on fire. It's fucking nuts right now. I mean, the Olympics, politics, the stock market, fucking Israel and Iran. I mean, you name it. Everything is on fire right now.
And that's why I want to introduce you to the new product that Broken Remote is going to be showing. Yeah, it is lit. It is swag. It is, keep that grind going in the brand new Broken Remote, the Broken Bunker, to keep you and your family safe. Alex Jones is out, so now we're in. And I also want to make sure that you're getting a part of our Broken Supplements. Now, granted, that is not a great starter to the name of our product line, but
it'll be like the Gulf of Tonkin all over again. Make sure you buy the iodizing or iodine on the Infowars.com.
If you're not getting the Broken Tactical Bath here on the Broken Remote Podcast, you got a serious problem coming. Once Kamala Harris and her army of Jews come in and just decide to take over the world, you got to make sure.
Oh, did you say Jews?
Some way.
That seemed like that was the pick today. Kamala, they were like, Kamala Harris, you want to pick Shapiro for your VP? Are you fucking nuts? We're not having that.
I don't understand. Okay, so I just saw the guy's name, and I know that everyone was expecting her to apparently pick Shapiro because I guess he was a layup and super popular, and then she went with this other dude that I know nothing about.
Off mic, before we started the show, I said I have Democratic Derangement Syndrome, which is, I'm calling it DDS. It is an offshoot of the Trump Derangement Syndrome.
TM trademark, Broken Remote Podcast 2024.
Again,
we got to get these bills.
That's all our shit. But I've never been that invested in politics since I was a kid because I think government is full of shit, and I think all it does is work against the people. At least our fucking government, because it's not what it was intended to be. Because you can't have a true democracy with 330 fucking million people. But anyway, But I've never been invested. But what I see now, and look, I'm not a Trumper. I definitely lean right way more than left, and I'm probably anti-Democratic Party more than anything. But, fuck Trump. It doesn't have to do with Trump. It's just we live in a reality. And all the shit that I see, I hear, everything I'm digesting is nothing but, it's not reality. It's not reality.
You're going to preach that out there.
Yeah, no, that is. I do think there is a 100%. When I was in college, if there was a dude that was super into politics, because girls were always just like, hey, I got every biological reason to be into it. If you were a dude that was into it, I would always ask, "Oh, I'm sorry, are these tampons yours? I must have forgotten them."
Okay.
Did you hurt your ovaries when you were climbing up the stairs? Oh, wow. Oh, tell me more about your feelings about politics, you fucking pussy. But
you can't get away from it now. It is everywhere. It is fucking everywhere.
Dude, I was telling, and speaking of off air, I was just saying, the amount of just these estrogen-fueled men. This is sounding like an anti-women statement here, but this is more about the specific type of feminine men seeing on every social media.
Completely understand what you're saying. Yeah. Go.
Just they guzzle soy milk by the gallon every day, dude.
I just got to make sure that this is properly calibrated. Otherwise, would you want to play D&D with me later? Is that a woman? I'm scared.
It's those guys better than going on to social media and then just giving me all of their opinions that I don't need to hear because it's stupid. And I'm tired of people looking at politics like it's a fucking sports game.
Dude, that's all it is.
They've become now, dude. It is just
And I know that we've said it before.
I don't know about sports. I was going to make an analogy, and I realized I have literally no backdrop of which I can.
No, but
I can reference people, dude.
We've talked about this before. Politics has become sports talk radio. I mean, most everything has become sports talk radio because they built this easily digestible, a format to just go back and forth, scream, induce like interest by the screaming.
If you listen
fake
to
points.
Pod Save America or the Ben Shapiro show while you're in the shower, you belong in a psych ward. I'm sorry. Like, that's just like, get a hobby.
But I mean, look, and
Paint something.
compare, I guess, like modern, I don't know, the news coverage, which is really just political commentary, to what Fox started. It's all what Fox started now, right? Everybody was like, Fox used to be a piece of shit news organization because they never did stories. It was all angles. It was all analysis and opinion. And now it's every fucking, I don't know, a political show is nothing but opinion. There's no facts.
If I don't have my opinions being screamed back at me by some, like, former high school dropout turned prom queen turned, somehow like, opinionated person on a morning show, I don't want to hear it. Okay, Rich? Otherwise, I have to go watch so many seasons of Jewish Matchmaker on Netflix right now.
Oh, is that a thing?
That is a real thing. My mom was watching.
Is it on Netflix? Because Netflix loves all that shit.
Oh, dude, it costs like $5. You think they want to make another Rebel Moon for $200 million when Jewish Matchmaker literally the shirt off one of their backs, which was, probably thrown off at a Girls Gone Wild event 10 years ago. But they're so cheap. They're such garbage entertainment. And I will watch an episode secretly and go, fuck, this is really good. And I just know I have to get away.
Is there like a Jewish joke that you can make that I can't right there?
Jewish joke
Something about being cheap but good.
I was going to say, honestly, fuck. That's
like drop on a dime and pick it up type joke. But I can't do that shit.
Okay, that should have come to me. Okay, ask me again. It's
gone. There it goes. The opportunity. You ready? You want me to ask you again? Do you have a joke?
No, it's too late. The moment's gone.
All
Moment's
right,
gone.
Bring the whole fucking show to a stop.
Just Rich, bring it to a stop.
Well, I love that shit, as does my wife. I mean, we'll digest any kind of like date show.
Good, dude. I try to resist them. Like, I go out of my way to never watch them. But if I have like a family member or, just someone watching it in the room, I'm going to tune in for the entire season.
Well,
I'm not above it.
My working theory is that it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a dating show at all. Right, the one that we watch, which everybody watches, is the Love Is Blind one. But we've we've also done that one where they put them on an island and they can't hook up with each other, and they hook up. Yeah, they hook up with each other. They lose money out of the kitty.
Dude, friends of mine will talk about 90 Day Fiance. That Big Ed, the dude with no neck.
Oh.
Like, he literally looks like when your kid draws a picture of you and you're just a square with a circle on top. Like, that's just what he looks like, but as the actual person. Like, the friends will talk about him like they know him. Like, can you believe what Big Ed did the other week? It's like, you don't know him, but tell me more.
Ed. Yeah,
tell me more.
I got out of 90 Day Fiance when it was the first season. And at the time, Opie and Anthony still existed because I remember they would do recaps and everybody would listen. And then they came to the finale of the first season, and it was all a setup. Like, everything was fucking written. It was all bullshit. It was just such a disappointment. And you were just
like
sitting
Jersey
there.
Shore all over again.
Oh, yeah. And it was just like, wah, 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 wah. I invested all my time, and this was just a setup and fake shit. So I don't do that one anymore. But these other ones, I'll put my toe into any good dating show. And what I was going back to what I was saying was that what makes them great is that they just go and grab the most fucking psychotic, wacko individuals that walk this earth and then put them together, in this small, confined space. And you have, like, wackos meeting each other, and wait.
I thought we were talking about reality TV show. Why are we back on Fox News? Why are we back on Fox News again? I thought we were talking about
it's true.
Yeah.
See what he did? See what he did there? And
we're getting back in a circle.
Not to mention, it is true. Fox really has influenced basically all of television. because their extreme fucking all concocted analysis opinion has just permeated to everything.
Now
Everything's
you
got
got
it.
their,
You
their
can't
fake
be
blonde bimbos and their guys with too much meat around their neck yelling at some,
nothing can be
45-year-old
real. You have
lesbian
to
and her cats that are on NBC or whatever the equivalent is.
right. You have
Whatever
to
the-
mold it. Everything has to be molded. That's what Fox started, and now it's just
Exactly.
everywhere. There is no factuality, or factuality is that a fucking word? But there's no getting down to the real truth of anything anymore. But anyway, yeah. So
No, I want to be screamed at all day. I want to be told I'm wrong and that the other person is Hitler. Otherwise, how am I supposed to get an opinion?
right, and I think
Read
what you
about it? Who reads anymore? God.
audiobooks, dude, audiobooks.
Oh,
Two,
dude, okay, don't get me started.
two times speed audiobooks. It's the
Yep.
best way to go.
Yeah.
Because I read, I'm kind of a fucking retard reading, so I can't do it fast. I'm like 20 pages an hour. I'm
By
not
the
ripping
way,
through
to the-
400-page books. It's
To
not
the
happening
people
for the
that
rich.
say, "Oh, you don't read, you do audiobooks," that doesn't count. Go fuck yourself. When was the last time you read something that wasn't A Court of Thorn and Roses? You pervs.
Exactly.
A whole other podcast we could do. Have you, like this? We are going everywhere already in the first 5 minutes of this.
I know.
Have you those Court of Thorn and Roses and stuff?
No, I don't even know Quarter Thorn
That's
or
a-
Roses. What the
I
fuck
did-
is that?
Okay,
You've lost me.
so like,
When I was a kid, when I was a young man,
Sure.
a fantasy book was about a kid and his dragon running around saving the world.
Okay.
Nowadays, I don't know what happened, but there's this spectrum of like what's ruling the roost now are these horned up middle-aged women that are taking the idea
Don't say
of
cat ladies. You're going to piss off a lot of people.
I'm going to say cat lady. Fuck it. I don't care. And all the books, dude, are just the most insane. It's 50 Shades of Grey, but then there's also magic.
Okay.
And that's
It's a weird
it.
combination.
That's
but
it, dude. That is it. And there's like 80 books in a series, and all of it is like, and then he grabbed my thigh, gently caressing. Like, have you seen the Gilbert Gottfried reads 50 Shades of Grey?
No. It sounds funny, though. I
It
liked
is
Gilbert.
amazing.
Gilbert was funny.
But just imagine
He got
everything
overdone,
saying
but he was
there,
funny.
But now there's like an orc involved somehow. And that is what is just completely like you go on Audible and you're like, I want a nice, dumb fantasy book to not think about what's going on.
Sure.
And all of them are like, watches Teresa goes onto a magical adventure to an elven kingdom and is plowed by every fucking elf in this crystal castle.
Did you ever see the fucking
Bro,
movie?
my boss recommended one of those books to me. My boss did.
That was the premise of this movie I saw in the theater that was pretty funny with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, like Lost City or something. And
I'm thinking Jupiter Ascending, but that's just 'cause Channing Tatum's in it.
She was the author of a series just like that, and so and Channing Tatum was the dude that was pictured on the front covers of it, but he was like a dunce, and so I don't
Oh,
know.
the Lost City.
The Lost
I saw
City.
stuff for this. Okay.
And so anyway, but she writes those books, and she was at some kind of whatever book reading,
Yeah.
and the crowd was going nuts, and they all loved her, and it was just like that. It's just how you were
Dude.
describing it.
It's those books that were like you remember, like if you were in a bookstore, there'd always be those kind of like the ones that you would avoid that section where it'd be just some woman and her hands against this just incredibly chiseled dude's chest, and it's like the flower's thorn, and you go, what is that? And your mom goes, no, don't go near there. Don't go near there. Then she might travel in there for a bit. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to go play with the Legos that are on this table over there for kids that don't know how to read yet.
Dude, why do they have Legos at bookstores? It's at every bookstore. And I guess it's because moms go there with their kids, right?
Yeah, so they can go read The Flower's Thorn and then, get off or something in the corner while I'm just going along playing with Harry Potter fighting Jedi. Okay, that's what I'm
I got you.
That's what I'm here for.
It's so funny because there's a huge bookstore in Ridgewood, New Jersey, which is a couple towns over from where I live, and it's called Bookends, and they have all these big-name authors come through. I mean, it's like Celebrityville. But when you walk in, there's tons of books, But there's also like just a whole section of Lego. It's like books and Lego, and it's like holy shit. I can't.
Bro, have you
put it
seen the
together.
price of Lego, by the way, nowadays?
Oh, my oldest son is still kind of into it. He's 13, but he likes buying the bigger, nicer sets and putting them together. They're expensive as fuck, dude.
I was gonna say I would still be into it if it wasn't $700 flipping dollars for just like.
It's the licensing, man. Anything licensed is just through the goddamn roof.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Like it was like legit $700 for that old school AT&T one. Which
the AT-AT? Yeah.
The AT-AT or whatever it was. Yeah, that Star Wars one that ever was like the envy of every elementary school boy when I was younger. When you're like, you have that one?
Yeah. Well, now. So Anthony, my oldest, he does have the AT-AT, but I think he's got
that son of a bitch.
He has like
Does he need friends? I'll be friends with him. I'm desperate.
He's got like the entry level one, and when I say entry level, I think it probably tops out at like 100, 120 bucks or something. But they now have, and this is like all of life now.
There's like high-end ones, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now in life, it's not enough to have, product X. Now, product X has to have like a plus version, a premium version. So I think it's called the Black Series. Well, I know there's Black Series.
Whoa. You can't say that we're a PC podcast.
Sorry, we're getting canceled. And there goes the show.
You want to go like that Stella, dude? You try to go that way?
No, I legit think it's called the Black Series. Although I don't know if the Lego series is called that. But anyway, the Black Series Star Wars is their high-end, like super high-end shit. And they have a AT-AT, and I think they have I know they have a Millennium Falcon and like a Star Destroyer, and they're like $600. I mean, no shit, $600.
My friend, who does not listen to this, so I'm just gonna say it. I like for his girlfriend or no, for his wife now. He bought her a $700 Lord of the Rings Lego set for Christmas.
How much?
Which was just like $700 Lord of the Rings like Lego set. It's like, yeah, it's so we can put together. And I was like, okay, let's be honest, bro. This is a Lego set for yourself. You're just pretending you got your wife an expensive gift. It's like, no, this is for us. It's an activity for us together. And I'm like,
an activity for us together.
Dude, like you could go skydiving like 3 times, I'm pretty sure, with that amount of money. But yeah, no, have your little Rivendell set or whatever it is.
That guy could have cheated on his wife for $800 and had some really crazy sex with a hot broad. Just saying.
Or like, cried in the middle of it, done hand stuff, and then, told people the other part. I wouldn't have known.
So here it is. I don't know what it's called, but yes, Star Wars AT-AT will ship to you in 60 days. This is their high-end one. Again, I'm trying to see if it's called, but whatever it is, you want to take a stab at what this costs?
I'm going to go 700 again, dude.
Can you see that figure?
I'm going to be honest. I want it. I really do want it.
It is.
I can't see the figure.
$850.
It's so stupid. That is so dumb.
But you know what? It doesn't exist if people aren't buying it. People are buying that shit.
I want to say,
where's the money in this world? It's fucking crazy.
I'm not buying a $700 Lego set. That's just too much money. Even with inflation, dude, that is so much more expensive than it ever used to be when I was a kid. That is insane how much money that is.
Dude, I have old school.
You can buy 3 Nintendo Switches with that and have enough money for 2 games afterward. Just saying.
I have old school baseball cards, like Mickey Mantle's and Jim Brown's and Namath's, and I don't have them rated, but they're in pretty good shape. I don't think I'm getting $800 for any of those. And there's just a stupid fucking.
You got a first edition holographic. You got a first edition holographic Charizard card.
What is Charizard?
Charizard, the Pokemon.
No, I don't know what type of Pokemon.
Oh, dude, those Pokemon cards were going for millions of dollars.
I know, but that was not my era. I do sports cars.
Mine.
I did do.
By the way, wait. Speaking of, in case my mom is listening to this, I am still looking for those Pokemon cards, Mom. I know rare ones in there. That was my 401k essentially that may have been thrown out. I will find it one day.
Mom,
how could you do this to me? I bought someone's Charizard card. His mom. Sorry for this other tangent, but his mom sold the Charizard card for like $1.25 at a garage sale. He was clearly not home. His mom was just getting rid of his old shit. I realized I fell on like a gemstone at like 12 years old, and I was like, "How much you selling this for?" It's like, it's my son's old stuff, like $1.25. Oh, okay.
Take it.
That's like a couple $1,000s, the one I had now.
Hello.
Yay! Good job on at that garage sale. Except now I lost mine, so I can't really comment.
Oh,
Anyway,
boo. Well, now, to bring this full circle, to go back to the very first couple things that you said, I think that you referenced we went in the political realm, and you were referencing the Waltz guy, and I think the pick was Waltz over the Shapiro guy, who was the Jew from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm,
which,
that everyone seemed to like, from what I understand.
Yeah, which basically probably would have locked up the election for Harris, right? Because that would have brought in Pennsylvania, and it would have been difficult for Trump to overcome
Well, he's
that.
apparently like super moderate too. Is like the main reason people. I don't know anything about him. I read like 2 sentences about him today. My opinion means nothing.
I guess. I don't know any of this, but to your point, I was surprised when I had heard that they picked this Waltz guy who's a crazy radical left-wing guy. Oh, he's nuts. Completely nuts. He's the guy that redid the Minnesota state flag and combined elements of like Somalia and wherever else to make a flag that looked like Somalian flag.
It's that dude?
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, he's fucking crazy, dude. And they keep showing the video of him standing up and being like, "Oh, hold on, 1 second." Stands up, turns around, go grabs the flag, takes it off, and then puts his big Somalian-looking flag in the middle.
What? Wait. Why though? Like, why would you do that? Like,
well, I don't know.
Main? Yeah. Oh, you.
No, I was going to say I just don't know what votes they're getting with that. And I don't know if they think that's going to help them in the election, which is a pretty tight race to begin with. So, like conspiracy theorists that are like, this election's already been decided. And, Dominion voting machines and ballot stuffing and all that stuff is just, the Democrats already won it. This would kind of give credence to it because you would never pick this guy thinking that you were going to win a fucking close election with him.
Dude, the whole complaint against Trump after JD, because I heard JD Vance was just more like bulldog and conservative. I hear you, like from the one article, if that I've read, was that he's like, obviously he's apparently really smart.
Vance or Waltz?
Vance.
Okay.
Vance is really smart. But then everyone, like the main critique was like, you picked a dude that was really like conservative. You had this whole middle ground you could have gotten. Like he clearly picked Vance because he's like, oh, I'm racing Biden. This is going to be a fucking layup. Who gives a shit who I pick? I'm going to pick this guy who's just going to be more of me.
I would agree because I think Vance is horrific on the mic.
I was going to say, he looks like he wears a lot of eyeliner. I'm just going to say it. Like not even counting the rumor, which is just a rumor. Apparently that like the whole, like, have you seen the rumor that was going around?
There's so many rumors going on around about everybody. I can't keep track. But what's the one about Vance?
The couch one?
No.
Oh, dude.
Is this the couch he was just giving a speech on and AOC wrote, "Why do you sit like that?"
No. There was someone on like some like Instagram or TikTok, it was clearly a Photoshop, but for some reason, because no one read his book, it said like in the part that was Photoshopped, it said he fucked a couch, and it just caught fire.
No, I missed this whole thing.
Someone in his campaign had to address it because it was so huge on TikTok, apparently, where it's just like, no, Mr. Vance does not fuck couches. That was clearly Photoshop. Like that, they had to address it, which means they lost.
This is the world that we live in. This is everything is
amazing.
So crazy.
But like, come on, like that could have been a fucking layup. Like you're going against Donald Trump. Who knows? She's. I think she's an idiot from everything I've seen about her. I don't know if she can win.
Oh, she's horrific, dude. Just spend 30 minutes doing a deep dive and watch all the videos. It's all you got to see. She's awful.
30. Yeah, she's just. I know everyone. My one friend who's like, he's adamant. Like, isn't this great? Now they're definitely going to win. I'm like, dude, have you watched her talk? Like, she is a fucking swamp witch who just ate a child. Like, that is who she is.
Yeah, the only argument for her is an anti-Trump argument, and that's what this whole race has become. It's just anti-Trump. You're voting one way if you don't like Trump, and you're voting the other way if you like him, right? And then if you're kind of like, I don't like Trump, but you're just kind of stuck in the middle, and you're like, I
want to vote for. What was his name? Robert F. Kennedy, whose brain is controlled by worms. I think that's just
so faded. He's completely out.
Worms have my vote.
He's completely out. But speaking of out, let's get out of politics altogether.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I opened the show just saying how crazy everything was, because we've got male boxers or posing as female boxers. You got the political realm up in fire, but
the market is taking a bit of a
oh my god, a shit-a-row. That one is just going down. Everybody is just screaming because they're losing all their money, except as soon as the cash open on Monday comes, all of a sudden everything fucking goes skyrocketing. It's just and it hasn't stopped in 2 days. So it went up all day yesterday as soon as the cash opened. Went up again today, and I think it closed down a little bit, but I think it was up a percentage. Now, it's more than half its fall from Friday, and I don't know, does that make a crash? Every one of these crashes
everyone was really worried. I'm just checking it out now.
I know. They did. That was all day yesterday. Yesterday, the world was fucking coming apart. The sky was falling. If you've ever watched the markets, at least since 2008, the markets never go down. The most that you've ever seen was fucking COVID, and it went down for about 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks might be generous. It might have been like 5 trading days.
It went down 1,000, like back when 1,000 points was still a lot. It went 1,000 like 2 times in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And everyone was panicking. And then it's just like, actually, it doesn't really matter anymore because the Dow jumped over 10,000 points in the last year out of nowhere. And you're just like,
I still remember those days. Do you remember what the one, well, in February of 2016, the big drop was because China had terrible economic numbers. That didn't matter. Boom. Turned right around, fucking shot right up like a day or 2 days later. I remember the one that that you're referencing. That what was it? It was the Dow Jones dropped 1,000 in a day.
Yeah, dude. I wrote like I remember I have like a picture of it on my phone because I wrote to my one friend. And it was like, for my next trick, I'll make your 401k disappear.
I remember what it was, and it was the VIX trade. So the VIX was super low, and they took out all of these options, long options, and then boom, they just jacked the fucking VIX up, and all of a sudden there was this crazy volatility with like 0 DTE options and the whole rest of it, and everybody was like, "Oh, the sky's falling," and then fucking all of a sudden it stopped and went right back up like 2 days later. And it was like one of the biggest rallies after that. It's all the time. So I woke up on Monday. I had a couple friends of mine calling me, being like, "Dude, it's it. This is what we've been talking about." I'm like, "No, it's not it. It's not it."
I know. And next you're going to tell me that Nvidia jumping up and down the entire value of Walmart in a single day. Oh, that's bad. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Look, none of it's healthy. You're not going to hear me tell you it's healthy, but what you're also not going to hear me do is freak the fuck out, because this has happened so many times. It's happened so many times. Yes, I think that this fucking stock market is bound at one day to fucking crash-a-roo. I don't know what's going to make that happen. It'll have to be an event of some sort, and I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime.
Giving them the virgin sacrifice to the almighty stock market every day. They go on that trading floor.
And they just drop one into the fucking volcano?
Take some beautiful woman on the cusp of womanhood, the full moon right above her, and they slit her throat, and they just pour it over whatever banner represents the S&P 500.
And that's what does it? I did not know that.
That's what does it every day. You never realized why you never saw Jerome Powell on a full moon?
I never knew that. That's fantastic. You learn something new every time you tune into the Broken Remote.
Every single time.
That's a fact.
We're a factual podcast.
We are a factual podcast.
Yeah. Everything we say is accurate.
Well, let's talk some factual, accurate, good things about good content and the movie that has taken the world on by storm.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
Which, 30 minutes into the show, but fuck it.
Fuck it.
Deadpool and Wolverine, because that is what...
If House of Dragon can take their time getting to the good stuff, so can we.
Yeah, so can we, exactly. And House of Dragon probably have to wait, but you never know. Maybe we touch a little bit on it.
Yeah, well, we'll get a little bit into it. I've watched most of it now.
Well, we'll get that in a little bit.
Yeah,
Deadpool
let's do this
Wolverine.
first.
I held myself back. I did not read anything about it going into
Same.
it. You did the same.
Yes.
Is it the best comic book movie of all time? Maybe not
It
the best
was-
movie.
I think I'm riding high on it still, but it was just so good at it's just so refreshing, dude. After just the hot garbage of like Marvel and Star Wars, like something from Disney that was like it felt like it first off, it made all the same complaints about Disney that we've been making.
All of them, yep.
It was a weird combo of like homage and also like its own like current thing.
Yes,
To
for sure.
early 2000s superhero movies, like when I was like freaking out towards a lot of the cameos towards the end there, and my girlfriend had no idea who any of these people were, and I was like,
Yeah, some
"Oh my
more
god,
deep dives.
they have her and him, and oh, they cast him as him because of that one thing," and she's going, "The hell are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't understand."
This is so
Like,
great.
I had all those movies on VHS. Oh my god.
VHS, wow. Now we're really
I know,
dating ourselves.
Right, yeah. Well, maybe it was like the beginning of DVD. I watched the original Daredevil a lot of times on that.
Oh, God. That was terrible.
They made a Daredevil reference with the boy.
They did reference everything.
They referenced everything. It was
They
crazy.
referenced everything.
They referenced Hugh Jackman's divorce. Like they were
Yes,
just.
they did.
This is no holds barred. They referenced my favorite cameo just because fucking Henry Cavill.
Oh, it was fantastic. And I didn't
slightly
know who it is. I couldn't figure it out. I had to Google it.
It was fucking Superman, and then they just were like, "We'll treat you so much better than those other guys." And then he does the mission, like in Mission Impossible, that good one, where he pumps his fists.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
He does that with the Wolverine claws.
Yeah,
and
you can
just
find it online. I was watching it the other day.
I was just like, I didn't even know I needed that in my life. Like that is fucking awesome. Yeah.
I mean, but in the pantheon of comic book movies, this one is not without its flaws. It's got a ton. Primarily, the story makes no sense, and there is no fucking story.
I mean, I think there's a point where they just kind of give up because they know it's convoluted.
I mean, it's really convoluted, and we'll get into some of that in a little bit.
You know,
But-
it was. Oh, you keep going there. Yeah,
Oh no,
there's so
I
much
was
to
just
cover.
gonna. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like in the pantheon of all these comic book movies, if you put them all on a TV, is this the one that you let go? And that's what I'm that's how I'm trying to qualify the best comic book movie ever. Because if you talk pure movie, no, I'm sure some of these other ones have better story arcs, and the 3 acts are constructed well, But I'll tell you what, if I'm sitting and watching all of the TVs, which has every single comic book movie, I think this is the one that I leave on and I watch.
Yeah, well, it had like to me, dude, it had like the perfect amount of like giving fans what they want, and then not shitting on like the past material. It's like what Star Wars does, where they take everything I loved from the past and they're like, "That's garbage. That's icky. We don't want to look at Luke. Ooh,
Right.
Luke Skywalker. No, he's a weird old man now." This was looking at the stuff that I didn't even know I had any feelings of
I
nostalgia
watched
for.
Last
But-
Jedi, by the way. Not to plow over you, but
God.
you just reminded me. Last Jedi was on last night, and it was really
God.
brutal. Continue on.
I was gonna say,
So
God
it's
help
not
me.
like Star Wars.
But
Continue.
they pulled out Blade, like just
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and I'm going, "Oh my god!" And they're treating it with like some form of reverence, despite Deadpool making fun of everything, and you just go, "Yeah,
When they walked in and they brought in Elektra as the first one,
dude!" I screamed. Oh my
I
god!
was like, "Oh shit! I fucking forgot about that movie." And good
Yeah.
for you guys.
Right? It was
Like-
such a bad movie.
It was so bad, but you made it like they took that Elektra character, and even though it was a terrible movie, I watched this and I was like, "Oh shit! You know what? Okay, I'll take it." And I even took the breaking the fourth wall Daredevil joke about Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
"That's
was-
cool too."
It's like, that was good. Just like the Deadpool fighting himself. And we're not even getting to the main characters. Like they gave us Deadpool fighting Wolverine and Hugh Jackman in the actual suit, like with the mask on. I was freaking out when he put that on, dude.
Let's just go back to the best movie, like because it's tough because there's obviously there's personal value placed in
Yeah.
watching any of these movies. But would it be Mount Rushmore top 4?
I, don't- I need to think on it more. I really liked it though. Like easy, I'm gonna say like lowest score I would give it would be like an 8.5. Would be
Yeah,
the
right.
absolute lowest I would give it.
And it's not even because it's a good movie, because by movie standards, it's pretty shitty. Like, I mean,
It
you
was-
can't have
it
a.
was
How do you have a
so
movie
all
for
over the-
2 hours that has no story?
It was
And this
so
one
all
has
over the
none.
place, but it was just it gave me what I want from a superhero movie.
Exactly.
Like the plot was like
That's it
it
right
was
there.
dumb. It was dumb, but it's having fun with it. The villain was like actually like at first I thought it was just gonna be that dude in the suit. And I was like, oh, this is gonna was Paradox or something. And I was going,
Oh,
all
yes,
right.
for the TVA.
But then they had like the weird female Charles Xavier, who's just like super
Cassandra
fucked up.
Nova.
Yeah, who I think I've seen in like a comic or something once. But she was
Never seen her before. I've
My
never been
brother had,
attracted
like-
to bald chicks, but she was
Yeah.
kind of okay.
yeah.
I was like,
She,
I'd roll around with her.
Her hands freaked me out. Not gonna lie, her just wait, she was just whoa, they're so.
I was like, could you do that somewhere else? It might feel a little bit better,
No, that's
No,
it. That's what she's gonna be like. By the way, I found out you have testicular cancer. I'm like, mother, God damn it.
Oh. Oh, why'd you have to ruin it?
Yeah, it's all gone. But she was like a threatening and a villain. They had all the like old X-Men characters just back in the saddle to a degree. Like they had that Blaze guy. Dude, they had
Blaze
when I
guy.
saw-
Oh, you talking about Pyro?
yeah, Pyro. Yeah, I
Right.
forgot about him because I haven't seen those X-Men movies in a million years. And then like the Fantastic Four. Like the moment I saw what's his name? Chris Evans. Chris Evans. Once I saw Chris Evans, dude, I was like, holy shit. He's the Human Torch. He's not going to be Captain America.
I
He's gonna
didn't see that coming for a mile away. I couldn't figure out why he wasn't in like his Captain America gear, but I had forgotten about Fantastic Four.
The moment I saw him, dude, I was like, holy shit, he's going to do a Human Torch, isn't he? This is going to be a Human Torch. This is not going to be Captain America. I was losing it.
My brain farted, and I completely didn't see it coming. And when it happened, it caught me, and I genuinely loved that scene because then he was like, "Flame on!" and he was out, and he was like, and Deadpool's reaction was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
me too."
Everyone forgot about those movies, dude.
It was great, and
I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting like Jessica Alba or the other two to pop up at some point, but probably.
what was
she's
Jessica Alba in Marvel?
She was the Invisible Woman. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. She
Yeah.
was. She
the
was.
whole reason to watch that first movie is because she's in her underwear. at
Yeah,
one
and
point.
Chickless was the thing, and I don't know who Reed Richards was. I
Yeah,
forgot
he was
the
just some
actor's name.
French dude or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was some dude.
fine. Now it's Pedro Pascal, so everyone's suit up.
Right.
Oh,
But it was fun.
dude.
What? Oh, what? Did you
I
saw the
was gonna
trailer
say,
for
no,
Last of Us?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's.
That's something else. I guess we can get into.
Yeah,
at
we'll
some
get
point.
that
But,
toward
like,
the end because again, this
well,
multiverse
we-
thing, I really hate it.
We can end on that because that was I completely forgot till just now. Shit.
Yeah, I told you the whole world is falling apart right now. So, but this movie has not fallen apart. This movie has
No,
held
this is
everything
great.
together. I think they talked. It was pushing $1 billion or some shit like that.
I'm sure
It is
it is.
just crushing fucking box offices. But I think
Welcome to the MCU. Joining us a bit of a low.
right. What you had mentioned about them going after Fantastic Four or a Human Torch instead of doing Captain America, and then it just being all, I think kind of embodies what this movie was, and it was just meant to have fun. Like you were going to sit down, and if you know anything about the comics, and even if you don't, you're going to crack some jokes, and we're going to show you all this fucking fanfare, and we're going to do fan service, and you're going to enjoy it, and at the end of it, you're going to leave, and you're going to be like, you know what? That was $20 fucking well spent because I enjoyed my time. And I don't get that when I go to the movies anymore. I might get like an hour out of the movie that I enjoy it, an hour and 15 minutes or pieces, and like, oh, that was cool, but that wasn't. Like, I went to Avatar Way of Water, did it in the whole 3D IMAX, and I didn't think it was special at all. Halfway through, I was bored as fuck.
Good. It was just like it was the first one in a beach setting this time. That's the only difference between the new one and that one.
Right. But, post-COVID, you get these movies, and you're just like, these fucking things suck, man. I mean, I guess Far From Home. No Way Home.
Yeah,
that was,
whatever I was gonna say that's the closest I felt to this Deadpool,
Yes.
but it wasn't as funny. It was like the same homage stuff. It was very similar vibe, just all around.
Very similar vibe, but I did not like it as much, and I don't know why. Because I think overall that might have been a better story and better crafted.
Yeah.
But in the end, I left, and this one I was happy with No Way Out. But this one, I was giddy. I was just like, fuck, that was good. That was a lot of fun, and I dug that shit.
It was just fun, dude. They balanced everything just perfectly. Like there was, I mean, this is me. There's some whiners online I've seen about the movie, but like where it's just somehow still not good enough for them because they didn't roast Disney hard enough.
I think GameSpot gave it like a 4, which
is just like, okay.
Like you're trying too hard, to your point.
It's just like, listen, like we have done nothing but criticize Disney on this podcast, but like even here, we're just like, this movie was fucking good. Like that was an awesome.
It was awesome.
It was a fun time. Like highly recommend if you don't hate fun.
Yeah,
check this out.
That was it. Now, did you go see it in IMAX 3D?
We did not see it in 3D. We just saw like the regular. We had some kind of shitty seats, but honestly, I mean, it was just I was just on for the ride.
I feel bad for you only because I saw it in IMAX 3D, and the opening scene, which, obviously, if you haven't seen this movie, just turn the podcast off. We've talked about it now for 10 minutes. But the opening scene, which was basically a video, it was like an MTV music video, and it was Bye Bye Bye, I think, by NSYNC. Right?
Yeah.
NSYNC was the bad. And it was basically Deadpool just using Logan's skeleton to kill a whole bunch of TVA guys. In 3D, that was one of the best openings to a movie I've ever seen. Now,
it was hilarious.
It was awesome. And yes, it was just a music video, but fucking 3D, dude, it looked so good. It was so good. It was the coolest, one of the coolest things I've seen in IMAX 3D ever.
It was just so fun, dude, the fact that they opened the movie where they're like, how are we going to honor the ending of Logan, which was such a great movie? We're not. In fact, we're going to literally dig up his corpse. And you're just like, well, you know what? Fuck it.
When they dug him up, and I was like, where are they going to go? Oh, shit, they're really going to dig him up. And then they just took his skeleton and made a whole opening scene out of it. It was fucking great.
No, what I was expecting in one of the first scenes, though, I was kind of thinking, because they had Jon Favreau interviewing Deadpool, I thought it wasn't going to be him as Happy Hogan. I thought it was just going to be him as Jon Favreau.
Oh, that would have been kind of fun.
I thought they were going like that out of the park with it, where like he was representing Marvel in that case. I was like,
that would have been. You could have done some shit with that.
I was going to say like, damn, you guys are going really outside the box with this one, and instead it's like, no, he's the guy from Iron Man. You're like, oh. Yeah,
and it was just Happy Hogan.
Still fun though. Still fun scene.
Talking about shit burning, it sounds like New York City right now is going up in flames.
Oh, dude, it's every day, man. Dude, this one day, I swear to God, this city.
This city. Well, anyway, before we stop with the movie, not the movie, the music video homages, have you heard the story about the montage toward the end with like a prayer as the background?
No. Wait, what's going on with that? So, you mean like the back? Oh, you mean like the credit scene where they're doing like the homage?
No. When Wolverine finally pulls on his mask and they go through all the Deadpools and Like a Prayer is playing in the background.
Which is hilarious.
So I guess Ryan Reynolds was on. I think it might have been. I don't know. If not The View, some chick talk show in the morning.
Yeah.
And he said that he had thought of this idea 6-7 years ago to do, I don't know this specific montage, but something with Like a Prayer. And so they shot the whole thing. They did it to Like a Prayer. And he goes, but the problem was that we didn't own the rights. So then we start going, and we're like, all right, well, now we got to see if we get the fucking rights to this shit. So they start shoulder tapping people trying to get to, Madonna. And I guess
or whoever.
Ultimately, they land at Madonna. And whoever was the representative, I'm probably butchering the story, but said, hey, you got to go see fucking Mage, though. She said, you can do it. You just got to go see her. So they go to Madonna's house. It is, I think it said Ryan Reynolds and the editor, and they go to fucking Madonna's house, and she's there, and they're like, oh, what do we call you? And she's like, you call me M, Madonna, whatever. And he's like, I'll just call you Madonna, I guess. And they showed her the thing. They opened up the fucking laptop, and they showed her the whole thing. And then she came back, and responded by giving them advice on how to cut the music. And she's like, "Oh, you should that beat there. You should cut it and do this instead." And they were like, "So then we're doing editing on the fly," and it sounded like it was a really cool fucking event. But again, I think the point being about like the opening montage and this Like a Prayer montage and what we talked about is that it was just fucking fun. The movie was fun. It's the most fun I've had in the theater in quite a while. And they did a lot of, even without story, they did a lot of a thoughtful effort into making this enjoyable for people. Which fucking kudos. You gotta give.
It was just I mean it was just such a fun movie. You can tell they had fun making it. You can tell they thought a lot about. I don't want to say the story was good, but like the story beats or like the emotional beats for the characters were good. Like when Deadpool just gets insulted by Wolverine, he's like, "I'm gonna fight you now." Like just after he says that really mean thing, you're like, "I totally get it." And now I'm in for this awesome. Like it was also just hilarious the fact they just fucking hated the Honda Odyssey.
Oh, I know, they beat the shit out of it.
The entire movie, which ironically, I'm sure Honda was like, "That's the most advertising for a Honda Odyssey we've ever received our entire lives. That's fantastic."
Right. Well, the fight scenes themselves, which is a natural place to go with this, were fantastic. I mean, again, the opening montage, that Honda Odyssey scene, which was done to music as well. I just can't remember what the song was, right? Because didn't they do it to a music again? I mean, there was music throughout the whole thing.
I feel like it was ABBA, but I know it wasn't. I know it was something similar.
Yeah, it was something similar, right? And so they did that fight scene, which was great. The fight scenes were fucking fantastic. And you could think of them all along the way. The opening credits, the first Deadpool Wolverine fight scene when they were in the desert with 20th Century Fox. That was awesome, right? Then you have the, I guess, Marvel versus the Void versus the bad guys, that fight scene, which was with Gambit and Wesley Snipes.
That was great.
That fight scene was fantastic. You have the Deadpool Wolverine versus all of the Deadpool variant scene. Mm-hmm. That was the Like a Prayer scene.
All of them were just played by his like family and friends. It turns out like it's just like I think Lady Deadpool was Blake Lively and like two of them were his kids or something like that.
And I think the Western guy was Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah, so it was something crazy.
I think it was voiced by him. I don't think it was him in the suit.
Rob McElhenney was supposed to be like a Wolverine or a Deadpool variant, but he got cut for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it was the action scenes in it were great. They were fantastic. You know, the Elia thing that they threw in there, that was like a stretch. But I mean, it was a void. It went back to Loki.
It was funny because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, oh my God, Eliath, the being from season 1, episode 5 of Loki. Like even they're just pointing out just how fucking absurd of the stuff you have to keep in touch with this here.
Right. And he even pointed out, like you just said, like how ridiculous it was, the reference, because it was such a minuscule reference. Trivial, I should say.
Yeah, trivial. We're an advanced podcast. But I mean, they made fun of all the right stuff. They like respected all the right stuff. Story's a mess, but you're not really there for that. You're there to see your like favorite characters get into kerfluffles. Right. There's a lot of weird cameos here and there. There's a lot of like references to like Marvel or old Fox products or something like that. It was just such a. Like, I'm trying to think besides like the overall story being whatever.
Well, if you watch the post-credit scene, which I know that you did, I think that it really summed it up. It was a nice, as you said, homage to 20th Century Fox and all of their, comic book makings.
I think it's telling, dude, that this is the integrate that I did not see Loki, which I've heard mixed things about. I think this says a lot that this is the second movie that has involved the multiverse in some way, shape, or form. That basically is like, hey, look, it's the multiverse. Here's characters from other movies that we could somehow rope into the MCU now. Isn't that fun? Versus like everything else that's involved in multiverse where it's just been me openly groaning going, shut the fuck up.
Right. Well, we can get into the multiverse right now because I'll be honest. If there was one thing that, throughout the movie, I was just like, oh, come on. I have given up 100% on the multiverse because unless they're going to do something later on down the road to explain some of the stuff in this movie, Like, it just, none of it made sense, right? So he goes, now it might be linked because I know he was wearing the cable watch when he went to Earth, but he was in 2018, Earth 616, when he talked to Happy Hogan. Then he was in the other Earth, which was his Earth. I mean, was he able to jump both time and realities? Because he was in both.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Like, it didn't make sense.
No.
And it almost didn't make sense to a point that you feel like they're going to reference it later down the road. And they never did.
I think they just kind of gave up at a certain point. Like, there's this multiverse shit. It's cool because you can, like, reuse, like, old characters or variations of a character, or what they're probably going to do with Doctor Doom, where it's going to be, like, a Tony Stark variant who has, like, an evil... I feel like they've done this already, but it's going to be like an evil Iron Man suit, and that's just going to be how they do Doctor Doom. These are all my assumptions. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I would kind of like...
That's the leader in the clubhouse, I would say.
That's probably what's going to happen, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, obviously this whole thing ends with Secret Wars, and if you're familiar with Secret Wars, I would imagine they do Secret Wars 2 rather than Secret Wars 1, because for those who are not familiar, Secret Wars 1 was nothing other than a Mattel Toys mandated storyline that made really no sense.
We need to sell more Spider-Man. But everyone has a Spider-Man toy, sir.
Make them black.
Make
them black.
Whoa. We got to...
Fuck it. You want to talk about being ahead of their time? Mattel was way ahead of their time.
Early Miles Morales. Let's go. Okay.
Dude, Mattel was DEI before they even knew what DEI
they
was.
Didn't know. They were just trying to get butts.
Give us a black Spider-Man. But they meant kind of the black costume, obviously, not the black people. But they got a black Spider-Man in there after that, too, and that was before DEI. So, but anyway, the first Secret Wars was nothing other than a Mattel-fueled comic book series to introduce and sell more toys, one being the black symbiote suit Spider-Man, which was huge back in the day. I still remember when it came out. And then Secret Wars 2 came out, I want to say like 04, 05. I bought that series as well. And that basically was an incursion event where they took Ultimate Marvel and the regular Marvel, which were different worlds, and they collided them into each other. And that is now why you have Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the same reality. Yeah. Because previously they were not. Miles Morales took over Spider-Man because this Ultimate Spider-Man, Peter Parker, died. Miles Morales took it, and then they had the separate Peter Parker comic book. So there were two of them, but in this Secret Wars, they brought it together, imploded it, and everything became one. So to your point, yes, I would think that, they were going with the Kang thing. It doesn't seem to work out, and I think they'll do an incursion. I think they'll just put them all together, and Avengers Doomsday will be the colliding of all this shit, or the beginning of.
Will it be good? Probably not. We're not going to talk about that. We'll see what happens later.
It's tough because...
I keep forgetting they made Ryan Reynolds that weird Deadpool in that Wolverine Origins movie. Oh, God. Yes, I'm looking at it now.
Which they didn't reference at all in this movie.
I mean, he probably never wants to look at that again.
But I feel like he referenced it in one of the other Deadpool movies. But... going back to the multiverse here, like, kind of doesn't work. I don't know how...
Actually, I didn't even think of it. This is the second time they fought as Deadpool versus Wolverine. This is weird as fuck, dude.
Yeah, but that first one on top of the fucking smokestack or the nuclear reactor, that was so dumb. That movie was terrible. And I remember I liked it when it started, and then as the movie went on, I'm like, I don't know, this is stupid. I know this is supposed to be Deadpool, and he doesn't really work for me. But and then they changed Sabretooth in that one, too, which was ridiculous. Yeah. Which they didn't reference in this at all. I thought that they might bring him back for, like, a cameo. And then they didn't even bother. And that's, who's the guy? He's now the voice of Hard Knocks for HBO.
Yeah.
He was a big actor. I mean, still is. But what the hell's his name? Who am I forgetting there? Who replaced...
I cannot not come up with anything in my mind here.
Oh, God. Shit. I'll remember him down the line. But anyway, I thought they were going to bring him back, and they did not. So anyway, but the time thing didn't work, really. The realities, they never told you what Paradox was looking for? What the hell was the point of him making that
He just is,
device?
I think he's just like making moves, just playing God, I guess, to a degree. I don't really get that one either.
Right? They never told you what the big deal about it. He just was making this reality shredder, whatever the fuck he called it.
But it was just another one part of the movie, dude, where you're just like, they just need like a reason to have like some bad character that's making, to me, I was just waiting for him to turn out to be evil. Because you're like, okay, what's the drive of the movie? Why is Deadpool going on his journey? You need a Wolverine. Here it is. Okay, boom. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, but he wasn't even evil at the end. He just was kind of, I think to your point, was just like fucking around with reality.
I think he was just like less evil than Novacek, where he was just like, I'm gonna be mean, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna be really mean. I didn't know you're gonna be that mean. Oh God.
Yeah, I just don't know what his motivation is. And to that point, this movie really didn't have a story, right? I mean, they bring up the TVA for some random reason. They pull Deadpool out for what was his mission? His mission was to do what?
I think it was just to join the MCU.
That was really it. Like, you can't overthink it that much.
I mean, he just ran up at one point and was just like, "Fuck you, Fox! I'm with Disney now." Yeah, which was fantastic.
What'd you think about all of the Wolverines they introduced you to?
The moment they brought up the Wolverine who was short,
dude.
Like, hey, Mr. Comic Book Accurate Wolverine, you short king. I was dying because I was like, I didn't know anyone else knew that he was actually 5'3".
Dude,
holy shit.
When they did that and he jumped off, and I thought that was so great because I'll be honest, I thought that Hugh Jackman originally was a little ridiculous because he was tall. But then when you see him when he gets really short, it's kind of like, all right, like it's stupid. It wouldn't work. Not to mention you wouldn't find an actor that was that short anyway. I mean, maybe you could do like,
No, it's hilarious.
5'6".
That was just so fun. That and like the when they're in the one world where he's like crucified to the X, like that one comic or something.
I'm not familiar with that one, but that one.
I know it's a famous one, but I've never read it. But I was like, damn, they are going all out with these.
I think the best one they did there was the Hulk Wolverine one. That was with
Right.
Yes.
For some reason that one like barely. I recall that one. That was like the least memorable of all. Like they had the.
I think it might have been the second one.
Like there's the cowboy one. Apparently that's like a really famous spin-off.
Well, there's Patch. There's Patch. Yeah. That was the one with the patch, right?
Yeah.
There was the short one, which was supposed to be like the comic book accurate one.
Awesome. Love that one.
He went into
comic book accurate Wolverine, you little short king.
Right. The Hulk one, which was the yellow and brown suit, and then he did the comic book cover where he stuck out his claws and you saw Hulk in the backyard in the reflection. Patch, the one where he had only one hand, I don't know what that one was.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
I'm trying to think if there's other ones. I mean, there were several. Did we cover all of them, though? Maybe there wasn't as many as we thought. But anyway, it was a fun little homage to all these different comic book Wolverines that actually did exist. And look, it was a comic book movie, but I thought fucking Hugh Jackman was awesome in this.
He was. I was worried because like the whole reason they made Logan, or why he was like in Logan, was apparently he was like, oh, I gotta put a wrap on being this character. It's been almost 20 years.
Yes.
Like I've done it to death. I can't do it anymore. This. I'm gonna like wear everyone out. Everyone's gonna be sick of me. And I think he was right. But also, this movie was awesome, and it was like the fact it wasn't the same one from Logan.
Yes.
Just made it so much better. The fact that it was just this like it wasn't the cherry on top, but it was like this extra garnish on your sundae that you're like, I didn't know I needed this. This was already phenomenal, and this just makes it just so much just sweeter. Yeah. Just finally giving us those last few things I wanted from your Wolverine.
And he really, there were some scenes in it, especially the ones with Cassandra Nova and stuff, where, I mean, Hugh Jackman, he was acting. Like, he could have mailed this shit in and just been angry the whole time. Mm-hmm. But, like, he actually gave it his all. I mean, Ryan Reynolds doesn't have to do shit. He just is, snarky Ryan Reynolds.
He did a few of them. Like, there was a few, like, emotional Deadpool scenes. But, like, a lot of it was just classic. It was just snark,
just
snark,
Ryan
snark, snark, snark. Snark, snark.
But
Yeah.
I do have to give a round of applause to Mr. Hugh Jackman because he did not have to put the effort that he did into this movie for it to be enjoyable.
It was just a good movie. Like, once again, I mean, this is the longest we've ever talked about something we actually like. But just such a solid movie.
Of the cameos, which one did you enjoy the most?
The Henry Cavill one was cool.
Yeah, you're a Cavill fan. You got a little man crush on him.
I got a huge man crush on him. Honestly, it was probably Blade.
Yes.
But
I'm with you.
Elektra had a stronger reaction out of me just because it was her first, and I was like, "There's no way they're doing this." And then Blade came out second. That kind of lessened the blow because I figured he was going to come out at that point. But
I didn't. I was again. I just kind of lost. I forgot about the 20th Century Fox.
Maybe not Blade specifically, but I was. If it was him first, it was probably better they did Elektra first. But I was like, no fucking way they're doing this. No way. And then they break out, oh my God, it was so good.
Thoughts on Gambit?
I was really excited by that because I was because that just seemed like perfect casting too.
Well, the background, he'd been trying to get that movie made for 10 years.
It was just never going to come out. I heard that too.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, well, at least I got a taste of it.
Right.
Who was your dialect coach? The Minions?
Well, that's what everybody said. Thank God this movie never got made. But it was perfect for this because he just fucking had fun with it.
It was exactly, dude. Yeah, it was just one of those where you just, it feels like this is what the Venom movies should have been. Was just a cameo and a Deadpool. Where you're like, this is fun, and I like this actor. But maybe this doesn't deserve its franchise. Gambit the movie.
Dude, that's a good point. Yeah, because I feel like Venom got off to a strong start, and now it's just kind of falling apart where it's, this is not what we thought it was going to do.
But Venom 1 was just... Venom 1 was this movie. It was stupid, but it didn't have the clever writing that this one did, if that makes sense. And that was the first one. I don't know what the second one's about. I just know Carnage is in it.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw Carnage with my kids, and you know what? It's because you thought that it was going to tap into the larger Spider-Man realm, right? And it didn't. It was just Venom upon itself.
That's what we forgot. That giant cameo we had at the end of that Spider-Man movie? We forgot to reference that. Whoopsie.
It's a good point. I forgot about, Venom and thinking about it. It is kind of...
That's still Sony, I guess, yeah.
A Blinders Marvel movie, which could have gone better. Well, I mean, I guess they couldn't with the rights, but still, it could have at least been a little more Spider-Man universe, which it never ended up being. But, yeah, Gambit, I was interested in your thoughts on Gambit because the accent was so terrible. The costume is kind of ridiculous.
The accent was fun for this role, I think is what I'll put it at. Yeah, it was fun for the role. I would never be able to sit through a movie, I think, with it, just because it was so thick.
If they brought him back in another Avengers, whether it be Doomsday or Secret Wars, would you be accepting? Gambit. Deadpool's coming back. He's going to be involved.
The movie can't be about him. He can be a central character, but it cannot focus on him.
You still want Channing Tatum, or were you like, let's get somebody else in there?
I thought it was fun, honestly, but you could probably bring someone else in who does a better version of the voice.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, the guy that they had Gambit in Wolverine, I thought was fine.
Yeah, it was entertaining. That's right. He was in another thing too. God damn.
Yeah, he was in X-Men Wolverines, barely, but he was in it.
There's so many bad Wolverine movies. Jesus Christ. But I mean, okay. Now to go to the bad part of Marvel. There's the new Captain America movie coming out. Speaking of Steve Rogers, I guess. And
yes, if you go to see this movie, you'll sit through 30 minutes worth of fucking credits.
It was so many fucking previews.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They said be there at 6:30. It started at 7.
It took me 3 hours from when I parked my car, sat in my seat, to getting out. 3 hours.
It was crazy how I've never sat through that many previews before.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It was ridiculous. They did the Alien movie, which I'm never going to see because I don't like horror movies. Not a fan. Yeah, don't need to see an alien skull fuck
I
some
love
dude.
Alien, and I will see it in the theater. I have no hopes.
I will hear your thoughts on it. The last few I've heard have been sucking major
Yeah,
ass
but
recently.
no good, and I have no expectations. High
You don't like
expectations
Danny
for this at all.
McBride being in your Alien movie? You don't like that when
I didn't like that when it happened, but man, that was I actually like Prometheus more now than Alien Covenant. But
is that
regardless,
just in comparison or just
say that again.
is it like in comparison to Alien Covenant or is it
Yeah,
just like you
those two basically I see as it part of the same like franchise. Like they're all supposed to intertwine, but really like there's two movies. There's Alien and then there are Aliens. Those two movies make sense. They go together.
Yeah.
Alien 3, the only
I saw
part about
Prometheus and Prometheus was dumb compared to the first one to me, and this is just me. But like the fact that it's just like a black goop you can just put in someone's yogurt and then like, oh, they're pregnant with an alien all of a sudden. That's so much stupider to me than like the actual horror of like there's alien eggs that will like actually like grab you and put the egg in you. Does that make sense?
it does, but it also makes the David character in those two movies, and he's the cyber whatever.
Yeah, the new cyborg.
Yeah,
That's not as good as the one from the original.
right. And I forgot that actor's name. Real niche, but
So Bilbo Baggins or Michael Fassbender? Michael Fassbender's the guy who plays Dave.
Fassbender's the new one. I'm
And the
talking
guy
about the guy from Aliens and then Alien 3.
I was going to say, the guy from Alien, the first one, that was the guy who played Bilbo Baggins, and that's just how I know him.
Bilbo.
So,
that was the what the hell was the
pretty
actual?
sure that's Bilbo. Yeah, Bilbo Baggins, actor. That is Ian Holmes. Okay, yeah, pretty sure he was an alien.
In the first one, you're talking about the first
Yeah,
cyborg.
the first one.
So I mean, Cyborg was So Alien, you had that cyborg. He's the one. He ended up being like kind of like the bad guy, other than the alien. And he got tore up. And what the hell was his name? I used to know his name. I've seen that movie so many fucking times.
Oh, he died. Oh, R.I.P. dude.
Yeah, he was old. He was old in Alien, so he couldn't be. And then there was another cyborg. He did. His name was Bishop, and Bishop was in Aliens in Alien 3. And then Fassbender was David. But the part about the goop, the goop is kind of stupid when it flies around. But the fact that David then took that goop and basically made the face hugger characters, there was just a lot you could have explored there. And because Ridley Scott just did this whole, I think it was supposed to be a trilogy, and they just bailed on the third one because
just because no one was like him.
nobody liked him. So I mean, it didn't.
Well,
he just got lost in his own shit. I think that's what happens.
You got too into it, dude. But more crazy, dude, is that new Captain America movie.
Oh,
Apparently
that's where we were. Yeah, Captain America,
This one's
Brave
like
New World.
200. This is on like its fourth or fifth set of reshoots. We
Yeah,
finally got
right?
the trailer like a year late, and it's like they're bringing in the Red Hulk, and okay, so like I think this is all tied together. Where Deadpool was great, good new Marvel movie, thank God, but like I'm not sure if they're out of the woods yet because the amount of reshoots for the new Captain America. The
it
Red
does not
Hulk
bode
is
well,
cool.
usually.
I was going to say that does not bode well. And then the big one to me is Robert Downey Jr. back as
Back to
Doom.
Doctor Doom, sure.
And they're bringing back all the directors from the original Avengers movie, which on the surface is like, oh my God, that's great. They made some amazing movies together. But to me is like, oh shit, none of this new stuff we're doing is working out. We got to try the old tried and true instead of adapt in any way, shape, or form.
100% with you. I thought the same thing.
It's just like, ew.
Right.
This might not be good.
It gives me scary J.J. Abrams in Star Wars vibe. Right? Like, we don't know what to do with this. We're going to restart it. We're going to tap you. And then we're going to fucking just send it right into the gutter with the second one. And now we're lost. So you don't want to know what? They kind of accepted your first one, Force Awakens. Can you come back and end this? Like, that was the vibe that I got, right? Like,
Exactly, dude. Yeah, you just kind of like... It's exactly what you're saying. It feels like a whimper because their plans just weren't going together. And they're like, I guess we'll just try this because this worked beforehand.
Right, like multiverse is The Last Jedi, and now we're going back to J.J. Abrams to finish this up.
Yeah, it's like a weird admittance that they had no plan. And now, granted, the Kang thing, they couldn't use him anymore because Jonathan Majors a little aggro.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. We're just going to take a quick pause. I got to take a call. I want to make sure this is my wife.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, so anyway, here in the Northeast, there is...
that's where I buried the bodies. Yeah, just make sure we don't put that on the tape there. Oh, God.
Cover that. Off mic there.
I was going to say, those college kids, they had it coming, I swear. Anyway.
Yeah, there's some... I guess it's the hurricane. Is this the hurricane that's come up? The thing, or is this just a storm pattern? I don't know. In the Northeast, we're getting destroyed with these thunderstorms right now.
It's too much.
There's fucking just like feet of rain coming down.
Said, after the beautiful couple of days I've had here, it's nice when you have like a couple days. You're like, what? I can stay inside and watch movies all day. Oh,
right.
I mean, you're gonna force me, God.
So anyway, we were talking about Doctor Doom and the multiverse, etc., and that this is kind of more or less
multiverse of averageness,
of averageness, and that they're bringing back the Russo brothers along with Victor Von Doom, who is going to be Robert Downey Jr., to try to button this up and stick the landing somehow. I'm not sold on it. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. I don't know. Like you said, I think
it's going to be a variant.
Right?
I think it's going to be like some other version of him that's just evil, and then we're just going to have to be like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Is that what people want, though? I mean,
no.
You see the video, and people go ape shit at fucking Comic-Con, but is that really what people want? They want more Robert Downey Jr.?
I think most people recognize what this is, where it's just kind of like it feels desperate.
It feels really desperate, right?
It feels really desperate, dude. It feels so like you're like, okay. I mean,
and even hearing him speak. Sorry, I plowed over you again.
No, you're good, bud.
Hearing Feige speak, and hearing Robert Downey Jr. speak, it just feels like such a stretch.
Yeah,
it feels like they're selling it. Like, why do you have to sell Marvel to your fucking fans?
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, you don't have to sell it.
We're sold.
Just make good shit, just like this goddamn Deadpool movie. Just do this.
Yeah, more of this, please. Less of that other weird shit.
Yeah, now I don't.
Less of the Marvels. God.
Oh Christ! Do you know who did this movie? Who the director of this movie was?
It was. I think his name was Sean Levy. I think.
Has he done anything else prior?
He's done a lot of other stuff, but I don't remember what. Let me look it up.
Because I don't know after this how they don't immediately turn around, grab this guy, and are like, dude, we need to do some more Marvel projects.
He's going to be doing okay, I imagine, after this. I mean, well, also Ryan Reynolds, I'm sure. I mean, he just seems to very much love this character.
Yeah, and I mean...
He's Sean Levy. What has he done?
And I think Ryan Reynolds gets it.
Oh, dude, he's done a bunch of shit. Okay, he did Free Guy, which apparently was good. I never saw it.
Oh, he did Free Guy? Yeah, Free Guy was fun. Yeah, Free Guy was a lot of fun.
He's been he's an executive producer. Oh, he did Cheaper by the Dozen, The Pink Panther, Night at the Museum. Oh, he did that Real Steel. I liked Real Steel. That was such a weird, that was only one movie. Yeah, he's done some good shit.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, they should just give him more. I mean, let him do something.
Make him in charge.
Yeah.
Not Bad Bertha or whoever has been in charge this last couple of years.
Why go back to the Russos? The Russos have done so much now. It's just...
They got their hands on a lot of pies.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
But... all right. I mean, so we chopped up that. I mean, we could have gone more. But there's not much you could do more with Doctor Doom other than mention the fact that
I'm sure there's going to be more, dude. I mean, it's just kind of like now we just wait for the new Captain America to come out. That's super over budget at this point, dude. They have to. I saw some report they have to make like $500 million apparently in this one to break even for the new Captain America because of the amount of reshoots.
Oh, because of the reshoots. Yes, I've heard the same thing.
It's been like 4 like giant batches of them, which is like. What?
Yeah,
Why?
It does not. It's not reassuring, right? Like it's not reassuring for this movie when you do a ton of reshoots.
Yeah.
However, Rogue One, They did do a lot of research for Rogue One,
Did
and
they?
I thought it worked. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think Rogue One, like, definitely, they
No,
almost like
the
reshot the
Jedi
movie
can't
from what I heard.
bleed. Please stop.
No, that one was okay. Now, usually it does not work.
Batman and Superman. Do you bleed?
Oh yeah, Jesus
You will.
Christ, that was horrific. And that poor guy, he just he's such a drunk, and it was like he has this one marriage that falls apart. Then he marries like super hot Latino 50-year-old
Jennifer Lopez, who's collecting engagement rings like they're Super Bowl rings. Yeah, that's gonna end well.
And that didn't work out either. And now
Okay,
they're
in
split.
fairness to him, well, not fairness to him because he dated her before. She seems like a psychopath.
Yeah, she seems like she's a little wacky.
She seems like you just like every night before bed you brush your teeth with a gun, just praying it goes off in your mouth.
Well,
I can't take this anymore. Honey, it's a weird toothbrush you have there. Yeah, it's mechanical.
She
Yeah.
also seems to like nothing but. Now, I guess if you're famous, you'd like fame, but like, remember she dated Diddy for a while. Diddy during the whole fucking Shine shooting.
You just reminded me, by the way. I know we were going to talk about House of Dragon. We're
coming to next, but maybe we'll punt. We'll see.
Well, the reason I'm saying we might want to punt is we never talked about her movie on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Well, I've only seen like 30 minutes of it.
Oh, you did watch that? Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
yeah. So
it was looked expensive.
I mean, within the first 10 minutes, you knew how bad it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and again, we do like to roast shitty content here. And this was one that we've been teasing to get into, and I still haven't finished watching it. So let's save that for another time. We're like
we got a slow week.
We're like a buck 16 here. Do you want to touch Game of Thrones at all, or
let's
House
cover
of
it really
Dragon?
quick. I still have to do. I'm just one episode away.
We can do overall themes because that would make sense.
I was going to say. I mean, honestly, I think I'll give my quick thoughts because I'm still one episode behind. First 4 episodes were great, got me back in the swing of things, and then obviously the 4th one or 5th one ends with that awesome dragon fight, and then that one really cool character, Rhaenys or whatever, she dies in that awesome dragon fight. I would say spoiler warning, but it's been like 5 weeks, so whatever.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, that was fantastic, and then I'm just getting caught up right now on like the rest of it, and I understand you have to build towards some moments. But like you can show some cool shit happening, and I just saw the scene where everyone like trains their respective dragons. And listen, one of my favorite movies is How to Train Your Dragon. I'm a sucker for those scenes, so
Gotcha.
that was fucking awesome. Loved all of it, where the one dude like just challenges the dragon, and the weirder guy just gets the other one. I'm over the Damon and Harrenhal. I'm over it. I've been over it.
Holy fucking Christ!
It's like, can you drag this out more?
I mean,
You'll get nothing like it.
that's the entire Damon side quest.
Yeah.
It is a side quest in a video game that nobody wants to be on.
I know where it's leading, which is why I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. But
Well, I think
come
it's leading
fuck
to
on,
the
guys.
final episode, so I don't want to say it if you haven't seen it. But do you think it's going longer than the final episode?
I apparently they're done with episode 8. I mean, my friend basically spoiled that the new episode's very boring. So I know the event I'm hoping for has not occurred yet.
Well,
When
let
it
me
does, it'll be sick, but it's not going to be.
let me ask you this then. So you've read the books. So where do you think the Damon storyline is ending?
This season, you mean? Not in general.
No, I mean in general.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to say anything because I know what's going to happen to him, and I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. Yeah. Then to talk
go.
about it, you have to see this
I was gonna
episode.
say- I was going to say, I'm gonna. You can spoil it for me for the episode because, like, I know what's going to happen ultimately, so I'm fine.
No,
I'm fine against-
it's completely underwhelming. I mean, it's really underwhelming. He basically, to those that have seen, which is anybody that's listening that hasn't just turned this off already. I mean, he's just been away. What land
Damon
is he
in the
at
books-
right now?
Damon
Is
in
he
the
at
books,
Dragonstone? Is that the
he's
one
in
that he's at?
Harrenhal. He was in Harrenhal.
He's Harrenhal.
The spooky castle where he's been getting haunted for the last 18 episodes, and I'm bored of it and tired of it.
Right. So
with
he
that weird
pieced out
face.
early, and I think he went there to gather troops, right? That was the idea, was to gather troops to fight back for the crown. And then he lands
just
there, and he
seems to have gotten
stays.
him. And then he just gets haunted by, like, memories of him being a kind of shitty person. But, like, I kind of liked him because he was kind of a shitty person and just kind of did whatever the fuck he wanted. I know where this is going. And I'll spoil this because it's so easy, but it's going to be one of the coolest fight scenes in Game of Thrones. Like, they don't even have to, like they're just don't make it dark as fuck like you did with the Night King and shit. But, like, it should be easy to do. It's going to look amazing because, like, George R. R. Martin clearly was just, like, you know, had his hand in his pants as he was writing this one, just being like, this awesome thing's going to happen. And then this awesome thing is going to happen. And just the dragon fighting nerd in me is going to be squealing with joy like a 5-year-old girl. It sounds like that's not what we're going to know at the end of this season, which I was upset about.
No, I literally, it's really deflating. I mean, I'm just going to ruin it because, I mean, all he does is he just ultimately, like, re-pledges his alliance to Rhaenyra.
Huzzah.
Rhaenyra? Is that what the hell is it?
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. He just pledges her alliance back to Rhaenyra. When it was like, you guys were married, except you went on this thing, and then nobody heard from you, and so now, you know...
Yeah, you went to your apartment that you have on the other side of town to get away from her and the kids for a while. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like, it's this weird meeting, and then a weird build-up, and then he just pledges his allegiance to her again. When it's kind of like, why wouldn't you have done that? Wasn't that your mission the whole time? Like, I don't... It was just so, and then they try to turn it into a big emotional event. And it's just like, this is not working.
Oh, they're in love again. Oh, my God, so sweet and delicious.
It just did not work. But, overall, thematically, I do.
They have a lot to do next season, I'm just going to say, because, like, I think they said they're going to do 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, they said 4 seasons, that's it.
Which is, like, they can't do more than that. Like, they're going to end this on a specific note. I'm trying to outline it in my head, and like you got to like they're going to have to cover some real ground next season, and then I think I know how it's going to wrap up. I'm assuming the Damon event not happening is what they're going to cap off the next season with. There's 2 things they can end next season on, and I think it's going to be the Damon one because I think if they're doing 4 seasons, they're going to save the other one for the one after.
You would know more than I would. I will give a nod to, like your fandom of it because the first 4 episodes were pretty good.
Yeah.
I do think some of it was slow. Some of it was like reestablishing, but they did include the dragons, and there was way more dragons in this than there was in the original Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And I did actually like to see them kind of like involved. The dragon fight and the death scene was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was the apex of the show, though. The apex of this season.
Yeah, no, same here. That is exactly how I feel right now. Whereas, like, that would have been a great, like, season, like a Red Wedding episode where you're like, damn, that was fucking cool. Or, like, even last season, dude, when they're like, okay, so the king is dead, everything's set up, and then they end the season on her one son is murdered. Like, in a dragon battle, which was really cool. And you're like, oh, shit's about to get rocked. And it still felt like for most of this season, dude, they're like, shit's about to get rocked, but not like really yet. Like, just
that's been the one complaint I've read.
Yeah.
That's what everybody has said.
It felt like it's been a really long, like, 3-week period for all of season 2, is what it feels like.
Yes. Is that this has been... do you watch The Bear at all?
No, I've not watched that one yet.
Oh, God. The Bear, season 1 was awesome. Season 2 was drawn out. Season 3 could have been 1 episode, and they dragged it out for 8. And at the end of it, you were like, you guys didn't do anything.
What's your plan? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, going back to some of our complaints for season 1 was time jumpy, and so it wasn't really cohesive. And then... it kind of was like, okay, well, you had to do that in order to get here. but
Yeah.
it left it, kind of like Force Awakens at the end of it. Like, it's really good. Here's Rey handing over the fucking lightsaber, and we've been trying to see Luke, and here he is. And then we got to this season.
The stage is set.
The
now
stage
what?
is set.
Oh,
And
nothing.
4
Got
episodes were great, and then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, we told the story enough. We'll just fill the next 4
And
episodes
we're
in with
tired.
shit. Yeah.
We're tired today, Rich. I'm tired.
I'm
tired.
too. You know what I'm also tired? I'm tired of looking at Allison and thinking that she's younger than all of her kids.
Honestly, it used to not bother me as much, but then when she was talking to her one son in the one episode, she's like, I'm your mother. Like, geez, are you still willful from your time as a child? I'm like, he's probably 3 years younger than me.
It looks like they should be fucking. It doesn't look like she should be reprimanding him.
It's weird when you're like the after party. There's probably some sexual tension between the two,
right?
And like, okay, like if Patty Griffith from the last season, the guy who played Damon's brother, like was making moves, I was like, that's weird, which was clearly what they were going for. But now I'm just like, her and her son. I'm going, yeah, that makes sense. She's
right.
But she's like what? How old is the woman who plays Allison? Probably my age, younger.
I don't know, but there can't be a big difference between her and Aegon. I forget all the different
Olivia Cook. How old are you, Olivia? Let's see.
She's got to be 28 to 32.
It is always upsetting when I see them. I'm like, she's my age. She's like a month younger than me. God damn it. Was your life so difficult? Then you were like, I mean, I guess she's supposed to be like in her like later 30s or something is the idea.
Well, you either have to do an actress change or you have to be conscious of the time jump where, at some point it's going to be weird.
What I think they did in this, and I do like how they expand on the characters, because the books, they have like a very general definition of some of the characters. Like some of them barely have like backgrounds. Just like, this was this guy Stewart. Allison, I think they changed her. She was like older than Rhaenyra. She was more like age appropriate for the king.
Okay.
In the book. And so it was more like an evil stepmother vibe she was giving off.
Oh,
like,
wow. She doesn't do that here.
Rhaenyra and her stepbrother had more like of an age like similarity in the maybe, I mean, who knows? I don't know anymore. I'm tired, Rich. I'm tired.
Well,
Just
I mean,
like
you haven't finished up.
Yeah,
I mean, you haven't finished the finale, so you want to wrap up the finale and then we can talk about it?
Yeah, we'll get more
little
into it next
pieces.
week, I think it's fair.
All right. So then, like, we'll punch out now because we've done enough, and it's been an hour and 30 minutes plus that little intermission there when I had to talk to my wife, make sure that she made it to her destination. But anyway, like we said, the world is falling apart. Deadpool and Wolverine are fantastic. And we will get to...
Good piece of candy on the road to damnation that we're all on right now.
Yes. And we'll get to the end result of Game of Thrones. I mean, well, House of Dragons / Game of Thrones.
You can just say election season. That's cool. Same thing.
Same thing. So, all right. Until then, enjoy. Peace. We're out. We'll talk to you later.
Godspeed.